Hey, family, I want to talk to you about some spiritual things. Destiny swapping. Have you ever heard of that before, that term? It's fairly new, the term itself. However, destiny swapping itself is nothing new. In fact, there are a lot of situations in the Bible that point to destiny swapping. Okay. And so I don't want to run off the people who are religious. There are Muslims, Hebrew Israelites, and Christians who follow me. And I don't want to run you away. I just want to educate you. So just listen to what I have to say. And maybe you will be able to find yourself in some of these situations that I'm about to explain to you. For the religious people who believe in the Bible, let me show you the scripture at Ephesians 6:12, where it says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against the powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Clearly, it states that if it's not flesh and blood that we're battling against. That's not what our issue is. Our issue is the spiritual side of things, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of us are not taught about the spiritual side of things. So I want to kind of enlighten you and just show you a little bit about the spiritual side of things. It might help you understand things that are going on in your life right now. That's what destiny swapping is about. Destiny swapping is very spiritual. In order to help you understand where I'm coming from, I'm going to give you an example of something that happened in my own life. There was this lady, she was much older than me, whom I befriended, and I'll say she was from like 8 to 10 years older than me. She was actually in her 60s. And everything was cool at first. We seemingly got along well. And then things started happening. She would put me down on the sly. Apparently she worked in mental health, according to her. And she was basically saying, oh, well, your personality is what we call dry in mental health and everything. So it's just like, okay. And so let me go back a little bit. I'm the type of person, if I feel like I can relax around you, then you will be able to see the fun side of me. Like you'll be able to see a lot of different sides of me. Okay. I'm not one dimensional. There's many different sides of me and everything. And I just reveal them to people who allow me to feel comfortable around them. So obviously I wasn't that comfortable around her. I was just still getting to know her and everything and just kind of, filling her out and seeing who she is and everything. And she would say things like, oh, you're weird and everything, because I would tell her about, things that I was involved in and everything from my past. And she was telling me that, oh, I have a sister who was involved in that and everything. You're weird. I knew you're weird, and so they give you subtle insults. They insult you, So I just blew it off and everything. I'm just like, okay, yeah, whatever. And I was looking for friends. I was looking, for friends in the area and everything, because the area that we lived in, the people like us just weren't there in that area, So I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna try to make this work. You know what I mean? Not really realizing what was going on. So she always invited me over to her home, and I would go, hang out with her husband. He was cool. Love that brother. He was cool. We got along well. But whenever I would invite her over to my house, she would never come over. Like there was always some type of excuse. Oh, you live all up in the woods. You need, it was always an excuse. You know what I'm saying? And she would ask me questions about my house or whatever. And, I told her. She would ask me about the square footage and all kind of other things or whatever. And I told her, and what you need a house like that for? Why you need such a big house? It's just you. You don't need no how to do. You know what I'm saying? Nothing I did was right. Nothing about me was right or good. You know what I mean? And so she always had something to say about it. Now, mind you, she told me that had it not been for her husband getting that house, that, she never would have been able to have gotten a house on her own. He's the one that pays everything and all that. Okay, cool, whatever. That's what happens in marriage. All right. But don't hate on me because I am by myself. I'm single and I bought my own damn self a house. Like, why is you going to hate on me? And I'm not trying to brag and everything. I'm just trying to, just help you understand what's going on. My house was far nicer and far bit larger than their house, the house that he provided for her and everything, and so it was just always putting me down and making me feel less than, and so every now and then, she would just throw sly comments in and stuff. And I'm the type of person, I have thick skin. I've been through a lot in life, okay? And I just disregarded it. I'm just like, oh, child, she is so immature, for her age and stuff. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, maybe who I am can rub off on her. I can show her how to be, how to treat people and things of that nature. So she invited me to an event. And when it came time for me to get the room, to book the room to stay overnight, this heifer gonna talk about, nah, I don't want you to come, cause you boring. You just like my husband, you boring. He just sits, he expects people to entertain him, and I ain't trying to entertain you. I'm gonna be hanging out with my friend, and baby, so I don't want you to come. Don't book the room, and baby. So she basically uninvited me to the event. Yeah, real talk. She uninvited me to the event. And I was just like, wow, that's so bold. Ooh, that's bold as hell. She was married, I wasn't. And she was always trying to make me feel like I was less than because I'm not married or whatever. It's like, okay, but yet you always complaining about your marriage and everything and how boring your husband is and everything and how you wish he was this and how you wish he was that. And whenever you go to your hometown, you leave him at the hotel and you go hang out with the guy you used to date before you got married. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, well, you don't seem to be too happy either, darling. So why is you making it seem like, something wrong with me because I'm not married? You know what I'm saying? So whatever. It is what it is. So I stopped talking to her because I'm just like, this heifer is very toxic, So about 8 months, almost a year went by. I didn't talk to her. And then I see the caller ID, ring, and it's her. And I'm like, what the hell is she on me, So I just answered. I'm like, hello? Trying to figure out what she wanted to talk about. Like, okay. And not only that, but she had done a lot of other things too. I answered the phone. We talked and everything. And things had changed in my life. She tells me what's going on in her life and everything. And I kind of update her on what's going on in my life and everything. And I was just telling her about the new person that I was with and getting to know and blah, 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 blah. So she invited, me and the person I was dating over for a special event. And, we came around. And the thing about it is just like all these people were far older than me. I'm talking about 8 to 15 years older than me. And let me tell you, these were some childish people. All they did was talk mess about other people, and I'm not that type of person. I have a lot of things going on in my life. I'm trying to better myself. I don't have time to be sitting around talking about other people like a dog. Like, those are the type of people that are never successful. And then they wonder, why they haven't reached a certain plateau in life because they're sitting around talking about other people like a dog. If you expend all that energy into doing something productive, then maybe you'll be able to achieve something, great in your life. So anyway, I was just like, this is not my crowd. This is not my crowd, and there were some secrets that I had told her and everything. And then, one of the people in the group that I just met, was talking about some of those things. So it's just like, okay, here we go again. She saw that I had locks, and she was admiring my locks and stuff so much. And so next time I saw her, she ended up having locks too. Yeah. And so this is where it gets really weird. So she started mimicking everything that I was doing at this point. And it's just like, okay, this is weird. Okay. She's always insulted me. I'm not on her level, as she says, but yet she's copying everything that I'm doing. So we hung out somewhere, had some drinks, had something to eat and everything. And she was just talking about, ooh, I hate that. How you have your hair like that. Like it's parted right here in the middle, and my hair would fly down to my face, and she hated that, and she kind of like moved my hair over, and I was just like, okay. But the next time I saw her, guess what? That's exactly how her hair was. So I'm just like, ooh, but I thought you said you don't like that one. Yeah, okay. This is weird. Now, mind you, I didn't know anything about Destiny Swapping. Like I didn't know what that was. That was completely foreign to me. So the first thing I thought was, well, they do say that mimicry is like a form of flattery or something. So I just dismissed it. And that's what I thought, but it got worse. Every time I would do something, she would try to do the exact same thing. Okay. So I launched my hair products, right? And I gave her free samples and everything. And so when the samples ran out or whatever, instead of her, buying it from her friend, she never did. She never supported me, never bought any hair products or anything from me. And she actually went and copied me and made her own products. She actually went to a couple of my events where I was selling my products, and she was listening to the ingredients that I was telling the customers that I put in the products. And next thing I know, she's making her own products. Yeah. This is the destiny swapping part. She caused problems with the person that I was with. Not only that, but there was another lady that I ended up being friends with in her absence and everything. And she was very jealous of the relationship that I had with her. And she came between that and she ended up splitting that up, and I was just like, okay, yeah, it's time for me to part ways with this chick. Like, for real, for real. I need to get rid of her, like, for real, for real. And it wasn't until after I got rid of her that I learned about destiny swap. And I'm just like, oh, that's what she was doing. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what this chick was doing. Like, all the while, she made it seem like I wasn't good enough. But she was trying to destiny swap with me. So hopefully some of you, well, no, not hopefully. I don't want y'all to go through what I've been through and everything. But maybe some of you have been through, what I experienced. And you can relate to it. And you can see that it's nothing that has anything to do with witchery or anything of that nature. It's a spiritual thing. And so what these people do is some people do go to spiritual forces and attempt to destiny swap with you. Basically, it's a person who wants your life. They're apparently not satisfied with the life they have, so they want yours. And some of them go through spiritual means to switch lives with you. Okay. And they seek whoever they need to seek. I'll just say that they seek whoever they need to seek who can assist them with swapping lives with you. And as you can see here, it clearly says that, they're dissatisfied with their current life or circumstances. They desire a better life. Curiosity and spiritual exploration. Some may engage in this practice out of curiosity or deep-seated interest in exploring the limits of spiritual boundaries. Compulsion from spiritual beliefs, believers in karma, reincarnation, or spiritual destiny swapping as a method or to correct or for their life, to just change their life path, basically. Instead of putting in the work necessary, they want to just have your life overnight, but yet she was always putting me down and everything about my life down, while she was admiring it at the same time. I shouldn't say admiring, she was coveting my life. And so spiritual abusers of the occult, these are individuals who misuse esoteric practices for personal gain and exploiting spiritual and occultic tools in a way that they corrupt their true purpose. Religious deceivers in disguise, people who masquerade as devoutly religious, yet they secretly employ forms of witchcraft or manipulative spiritual practices under the guise of divine blessings. Yeah, so it gets kind of deep. This whole destiny swapping thing, it is deep. It's deep. Now, there are repercussions to it. Some people actually succeed. Let's talk about that first. In destiny swapping, stealing your husband. Women, be very careful about the females you bring around your husband. Okay. And the reason why I say females is because they're not women to me. They're just females. Okay. They have the anatomy. All right. They're watching you. They're studying you and your husband. They're finding out what he likes, and you're telling them everything. Stop telling your business. Stop thinking that people are your friend when they're really not. She's studying you because she wants your man, and she wants your life. She wants to slip into your place. So she's learning from you all the do's and don'ts with your husband, so she can come in and be the perfect girl. And next thing you know, she's marrying your husband. There are many examples out here of that. Let me tell you, there's a lot of peer pressure out there. There's a thing that I've seen going around social media where they were talking about avoid women who don't have friends. They're saying there's something wrong with them. But truly, there isn't. It's so hard to trust people. Let me tell you, even in relationships, it's so hard to trust people, because sometimes your partner might want to try to destiny swap with you as well. It's not uncommon for a male, to try to destiny swap with a female. You know what I mean? It happens. It might not be as common as females destiny swapping with one another, but trust and believe, there's a lot of jealous males out there, because let me tell you, women, we doing our thing out here, and there are a lot of males who are very jealous of us. Men can be very jealous. This is one of the reasons why I avoid relationships and stuff. Or if I get into a relationship, you best believe it's going to be with someone who is on my level or better, because I don't have time for that. for you to be all jealous of me and, and just all the drama that comes along with that. And he will do everything he can to ruin you. He will ruin you. These people are narcissistic. Anyone who wants to destiny swap with you, they're narcissistic, whether it's male or female. And I don't allow anyone to guilt me into being around people, making friends just to please other people. I don't give a damn what you think about me. Like, really, this is my life and I'm living on my terms, whether you like it or not. I'm not about to invite toxic people into my life, whether it be friendships or relationships, and even familial relationships. I've cut myself off completely from my family because they're a bunch of haters. A bunch of jealous folks and stuff, and gossipers, and just meddlesome people, and they're idle. They're idle. They're not doing anything with their lives and everything. And they want to hate because I want to reach, for the stars and beyond, in my life. I want to go as far as I can in my life, but you have a problem with that. Okay. Well, it sounds like a personal problem, So to be honest with you, I don't really surround myself around a lot of people because there's just, people are not right. There's a lot of people out here that are sick in the head. So don't allow people to make you feel bad for not having a bunch of friends around you. You have more peace that way. I went somewhere and I was smiling and everything. I had a big smile on my face and I'm just like, walking to the place. And someone was just like, what the F is wrong with you? What are you so effing happy for? There's nothing in life that's that happy. There's a lot of miserable people out here. I mean, there are a lot of miserable people. And one thing that I found about being alone is that I have my peace and I am much happier, by not having toxic people in my life. My existence is just more peaceful and happier. That I live a very peaceful life. And I'm very careful about who I allow into my life. A lot of times, women end up losing their lives behind a jealous husband or partner or whatever. And I'm just not trying to go down that route. You know what I mean? Be mindful of everyone that you allow into your life, into your circle. So yes, a lot of people do succeed in destiny swapping, but a lot of them fail as well. Some people felt like destiny swapping was a way out of their current life and situation, but they actually end up swapping for a worse life. The thing about it is a lot of people who do things like this, they're lazy. They don't want to put in the necessary work in order to achieve the things that they need to achieve that they're jealous of you for having, and things can end up changing for them for the worse. And instead of it being good, it actually ends up turning out bad. Like it's talking about relationships and financial things. It ends up becoming worse for them. All of their relationships crumble. Their financial situation gets worse. Their social standings, business ventures, even their health deteriorates. Now, let me tell you, there's a relative of mine who has attempted to do this. And let me tell you something. Those of you who try to mess with chosen ones, you need to be careful who you try to swap destinies with because you can end up in a much worse situation. And things like this happen when you end up messing with a chosen one. It ends up backfiring on you. And I actually have a family member that did this with me. And people were telling me how this heifer's on oxygen, how all this bad stuff happens to her and everything. That's because this heifer's trying to destiny swap with me. Very jealous. She made it very clear to me when we were very young and I was in her early 20s, how jealous she was of me. And she was always trying to do things to hurt me and to ruin me and everything. But to be honest with you, it has all backfired on her, So if you're one of these evil, malevolent type people, you need to be careful who you try to destiny swap with. Because if you try to destiny swap with a chosen one, you're going to end up jacking up your whole future. So how do you guard against destiny swapping? For those of you who are not into the spiritual side of things, you just need to be careful of who you invite into your life. You need to be watchful of your surroundings. You need to pay attention to everything that is said and everything that is done. Like your sentences need to be completely heightened, to everything that's going around you, so that you can be aware of what everybody in your life is doing, what they mean to you, so that if you see something that's a red flag, you can just cut them off, And then those of you who are more spiritual, then there's like different amulets you can get. You can talk to a spiritual advisor. They can assist you however they need to assist you, reversing whatever has been put on you. You can also say things like, no weapon against me shall prosper. Do that for 7 days in a row. Speak whatever is going on and say, look, I denounce this. This curse is broken. This spell is broken. Things of that nature. There's things that you can do on your own. You don't always have to consult someone else. I wanted to bring that to you, to just heighten your awareness of the things that are going on here in this world. It's not pretty out here. Be safe. Be careful. Love you.